What's up, guys? What we're doing here today is a little bit more practice for what you guys are doing, or at least what you seniors are doing in the NOCTI. So we have everybody set up working on a specific project, and we're working on timelines here. So we have what basically amounts to a small composite wall, and we are trying to get the block portion of the project done within an hour and 20 minutes. It's about what NOCTI is going to give us to get that section of it done. So what I did last week was I dry bonded the project. From our drawing, I snapped all the lines and I marked everything on the floor. This week, what I'm gonna do is set the first course. So I'm gonna try to keep this fast. I'm gonna try to move quickly. I'm not gonna talk too much, but I want you guys to see sort of the order in which I want you guys to lay it down. Now, to save time, what I did was I went working off of my dry bonded markings that I have on the floor. I set out my mortar ribbons ahead of time. I have my pan. I have some extra mortar over here, and all the materials are behind me. So I basically buttered everything up and got it ready to go. But the way I just kind of want you guys to watch how I put these down and make sure that everything's plumb, level, square, and remember, we were always trying to get these courses to 8 inches. Okay, that's most likely what NOCTI is going to be looking for. So with that being said, I'm going to start putting these down, and I'm going to try to keep myself out of the way. This is the way that you guys will be looking at the project when you're working on it. So I have the camera facing this way, and I'm going to just, it might look a little awkward, but I'm going to try to stay out of the way so you guys can kind of see how things will be going. But here we go. Start with the corner. Again, we're working off of a plan here, so. Close. But we're not going for pretty close, we're going for 8 inches exactly. All right. Out of the way here so you guys can see we are perfectly plumb. And we are right at 8 inches. Okay. Again, it's hard for you guys to see, but I have these lines snapped on the floor, so I know that this block is already seated right where it needs to be. Okay. It's the whole purpose of dry bonding. Here. Keep a nice clean workspace. Don't ready to strike yet, but here I'm checking it with the block right next to it. I can see it's a little higher, so this has to come down. A little bit high. All right, got it. Nice and plumb. We're still starting to see our square corner come together here. Okay, so we got level, plumb, and we're square. This out of the way. So you guys will have the materials a lot closer when you're working. You'll be able to pick them up and put them right down. I have everything out of the way so you guys can see. Again, using our markings on the floor there. Looking pretty good. We're starting to get a longer run here. We're going to switch over to our 4-foot level. As you can see, that is right on. We know that it's straight. Hang on. A little bit off the line. Tap it forward. We can always check our straight edge with this. Level. Okay, and just to be sure, we are still shooting for 8 inches. We got it. So, we can move on to our final block here, which according to this project is a half. See? Carefully. Just set it right in there. Once again, I'm looking at our chalk line on the floor. Dry bonded, I can see that I'm right with the line because I haven't snapped further. And I have our joints that were pre-drawn. You can tell right where they were. So all we really need to check here. Level. It is. And it sure is. Check your face. Pretty good. And the final. We want a nice straight line here. Got it. All right. So, keep an eye on the clock here. I think that was pretty good time. It was pretty good time. Now there's still. Out of the way here. There's still some cleanup to do with these. These joints are far too wet to actually strike. It looks like this one I need to patch it up a little bit. It needs a little bit more mortar in there, but you can see if you keep it moving, not at breakneck speed, but a slow, steady pace, and you keep your dry bonded marks and your chalk lines and all your guidelines that you have on the floor, this isn't that difficult of a project to do. The whole trick is keeping things at an even pace. Don't forget one step, don't skip over anything, and just keep going back and double checking. It's speaking of, let's make sure we still have this square. You guys are all gonna have one of these at your station for now, but even though we have a mark on the floor, it's easy to just accidentally kick one of these blocks or bump it over a little bit more. But we still have a nice square corner here. So that was pretty good. I'm thinking that next week I might try to do the second and third courses and see how fast we can do that. But thanks for tuning in, guys. Any of you seniors in class, from now through the end of March, the 23rd is our day to take the actual test. But from now until then, you guys are going to do nothing but practice, and we're going to work for speed. We're going to work on getting these block walls built, and then we're going to work on doing a small brick veneer to that block wall. So that would try to mimic the NOCTI performance test as best we can. We don't know exactly what it's going to be, but most likely it's going to involve some type of a corner. Otherwise, they would not have told us that we need a square. So I will talk to you guys next week, and I will work on doing the second and third course. So see ya.